Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the new British super flyweight champion, Emma Dolan. How are we doing, Emma? A little bit of time off?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, really, really good. Thank you very much. A week or so on now from claiming the title down in Birmingham. How's it all been since starting to sink in that you're now a British champion?
Yeah, it's crazy. Not really, not yet. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, no, it's a brilliant thing, and enjoyed the whole experience of it the whole week, and obviously the fight, and yeah, it's another belt to add to the collection now, and just keep moving forwards.
The experience itself, just even away from the fight, being involved in big press conferences in an arena filled with thousands of fans, that was obviously something that was a little bit new to yourself. How do you think you sort of dealt with it throughout the week?
Yeah, it was all right. I kind of took it all in my stride, really. At the end of the day, like the age-old saying, there's only two people in the ring, isn't it? So, all the people and all the build up and everything. It's a bit irrelevant, but I enjoyed it really. I took it all in my stride, and yeah, no, it was great.
I remember speaking to you in the lead up to the fight. Confidence was flowing in the lead up to it, and you kept that throughout the week and obviously into the ring. Can you sort of tell me now what gave you the confidence going into that fight?
I just look, I back myself, and yeah, I know what I'm about, and I'm a very determined person. You know what I mean? Not saying that anybody else isn't, but I've got a very strong mindset, and to be honest, like being the way I am, and then having a trainer like Carl, and I really do rate him as a trainer and a person and everything. So that gives me confidence in itself because I know anything that I'm not covering or we haven't covered, he's then going to bring up again. He's a fantastic trainer and person and everything. So that gives me a lot of confidence and allows me to relax a bit. But I never put the work in, and I know I was going to put the work in, and I know what I'm capable of. So I think that's where the confidence is generated.
And the performance on the night was an excellent one. Did it all sort of go to plan? Were there any moments in there where you had to sort of take a step back and reassess the plan?
Not really. I think it's the most relaxed I've ever been. Weirdly, on the biggest stage, it was strange, but no, there's never no sort of moments of like stress or uncomfortability. It was quite calm, really, the whole fight. So yeah, no, it was good.
Have you had a chance to watch it back yet?
Not yet, no. I need to get on the zone really, get a subscription. But yeah, no, I'll watch that back and give it a proper review. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good fight. I thought I thought it was quite wide, like not wide, but I thought about 97, 93. I think one of the scorecards were. That's how I sort of had it in my head. And then you got to take into account you're the away fighter, really. So maybe 96, 94. But I never doubted that I won it.
Yeah, I was going to say when the decision was being made, you say there you were pretty confident you got the decision, but when it is being read out, I'm sure the nerves are there. Is there any doubt in the mind?
Not like that I'd done enough to win, but obviously I thought, oh, they might rob you here when they give when one of the judges give the score to her. I was a bit confused to that, but that's boxing, isn't it?
Um, in terms of what you carried out in the fight, what was Carl saying to you throughout that fight to make sure you were sort of executing the game plan?
Just reminding me, reminding me of what I needed to do, reminding me of like what I have achieved, reminding me, Carl's very good at, he knows me inside out, so he knows the things that is going to get me going, and knows the things where I can maybe get a bit too relaxed at times. He gives me a kick up the arse sort of thing. So yeah, he's just reminding me of what it's all about and what that fight really meant as well.
Mhm. I know you haven't watched the full fight, but you have watched the knockdown back. I saw a couple of interviews in the aftermath of the fight. What did you make of it? Seeing it back, it was a pretty heavy one.
Yeah, I wish because obviously I caught with two good right hands, and then obviously the right hand that proper stunned her, she was sort of out then, sort of held on a bit. But I wish if I stood back and just put like a good left hook in or something, I think she would have been that would have been it. But in the heat of the moment, you get like excited, don't you? And I got close, and it was good. I got some good body shots in, a few good head shots, and then she turned her head, and I think one maybe went in the back. But it's hard when you're in there, and she don't, if she's turned her head, it's very hard. You're not going to think, oh, let me take a step back now and not do it. So yeah, she was holding on a lot at that point as well. She's ready to go. So I knew I had her, and yeah, no, it's brilliant.
Did it feel like a not the knockdown in particular, but the win? Did it feel like a little bit of a proving some doubters wrong? She's obviously had a lot of backing from Matchroom, and she's had a lot of spotlight. Wherever you had to do it a slightly different way, a much harder way, you may say. Did it feel like you were proving anybody wrong?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like that's half the battle, isn't it? It's not just going in there and winning; it's going there winning at an extent that you prove everybody wrong. There's no argument, is there, that you were the better fighter on the night? So, yeah, obviously that gives me a bit between my teeth, and that's always gives me something to train a bit harder for. But it was nice, having the amount of people saying to you, "Oh, I didn't expect that," and then obviously the people who did believe me made a good bit of money on the bookies. So I was pleased all over.
Did you? Let's say the sort of expectation around you now may change slightly. Now you've got a win over a recognised name, you've got that title, and you're going to be moving towards possibly a European title or defending that British title. You see it as a change at all, or
Not to me personally. I always sort of train with the same mentality, but I don't know. Like obviously won the title. I didn't really get a lot of respect for it. I beat Nicola and didn't really get loads of respect. Obviously going into the Shannon fight, and I've beat her now, and she was sort of like the kingpin of. They're trying to portray her as the sort of kingpin of the division. I've sort of beat her, so I don't know. Maybe the outside world will give me a bit more credibility, but I'm not that arsed. I train the exact same. I keep the same mindset. So as long as I keep getting the fights I want, then that's all that matters.
would you like a major promoter to come in for you?
I believe my next couple of fights will be with Matchroom. So
Uh,
that'll be really handy. So with them on board, that will be, that's the moving force then to push for these bigger titles.
Have you had any conversations with any of the guys at Matchroom, whether that be Eddie or Frank Smith or?
No, obviously we had a contract drawn up before the fight with Shannon, so just going off that really.
Fair enough. Possible homecoming back to East Anglia. I mean, I'm sure that's something that's been on your mind to get a big fight back there. Those things are becoming more possible now with titles and with a promoter on your side.
Yeah, I mean, all Nottingham Forest, like Newark have took me in as their own. So like, one of the two are Nottingham Motor Point. Like, it's not a major thing for me. It's not really like I don't really care where I box, and it's never really bothered me because I can't take anything in when I'm walking to the ring or anything anyway. I'm just sort of focused on them, so I wouldn't really appreciate it till like after a box probably. But yeah, if I had to pick anywhere, it'd be like Madison Square Garden. Other than that, I'm not that arsed really. I've got a really good fan base and people travel. Obviously, it'd be nice to either come back near Newark or go back near Norfolk for the people traveling and that. But yeah, we'll see.
You've mentioned Carl's name a couple of times. He's obviously been a big influence over the time you've spent with him up in Newark. He's a trainer that maybe goes a little bit unnoticed because he hasn't had sort of heaps of world champions, and he's taken fighters from a slightly lower level, maybe certainly fighters that don't have the image, and he's taken them to a fantastic level. Is he now getting some of the deserved credit?
He should do. I'll do everything in my power to do that because you know obviously I was a good amateur and everything when I joined the pro ranks and everything, but Carl's transformed my game completely. And that fight the other night, would I have won it if I wasn't with Carl? I don't know, but I know for a fact I definitely would have won it when I was being with Carl and training with him. He's improved me so much, and the biggest thing for me, I've had 3 fights with Carl, and each fight I've improved. So that's a big tick for me, and I'm learning off him all the time. I think he's a fantastic man, and he's a brilliant trainer. So he deserves the respect. He does so much, especially like promoting his own shows, managing fighters. He was out there. He obviously done my corner the other night, and then that weekend after, or yeah, the weekend just gone, he was in Bolton taking two of the lads who are like road warriors out and cornering them and everything. He's everywhere. He's constantly working, and obviously he's got David Avanesian out next week. He's a phenomenal human being.
Have you spent much time in the gym with David? Because I know he trains over in Russia at some point, and then he comes back when he's in camp with Carl.
David's an animal. Like David will make shift through gears that he didn't think he had to try and keep up with him, sort of thing. So yeah, it's always interesting when he's in the gym. He does push you a lot. he sort of come over when I was sort of in the last week of my camp for this fight, so kind of missed each other a little bit. But he was up at the I spent the whole week with him really the week of the fight. He come up to Birmingham with us, so yeah, no, he's a cool guy. He's got a cool mindset, and yeah,
He's obviously got a huge fight over in the US against Boots Ennis. We know he put in a good performance against Terence Crawford, but didn't go his way. He's got another big opportunity against Boots. How do you see that one playing out?
yeah. Look, it's a big fight, isn't it? And it's a hard fight, especially on short notice as well. But if there's a man to do it, it's David. I mean, he punches like thunder in both fists, and he's, like I say, mentally so strong. And him and Carl been working on a game plan, and I wish him every bit of luck. And like I say, if anybody's going to do it, David would be the man to do it. And I don't doubt him for a second that he can do it. So I'd love to see him go over there and get the win.
For you being in the gym with Carl and David, I know there's a lot of other fighters in the gym, but he's a trainer that puts in a lot of effort to his fighters. There are some trainers that take on a lot of fighters and they have to divide their time up. I know Carl puts in every bit of effort he can to the fighters that are in there. How has that sort of reflected for you?
Yeah, I mean, the gym was busy. Like he obviously had two shows on the week before my fight. We had Callum Johnson, Tom Pogson, Harvey Aldo, Stanley Stannard. Like the gym was really busy. You know what I mean? And it was, but I still got like all the time in the world with him, sort of thing. You know what I mean? He just doesn't stop. He's flat out, sort of thing. And the quality of the work you're getting with him is still good as well. You know what I mean? It's not like he's like knackered and you're just getting a little bit of rushed pads. He takes the time and you're getting coached. You know what I mean? He's explaining things to you. So he's just fantastic. I don't think you'll find another man out there who does the amount he does, like outside of coaching as well as promoting and everything else. It's phenomenal.
I saw a photo on Twitter of yourself and Ellie Scottney. I think it was from 2017. We're now 7 years on from that. She's obviously got her world title, going to be looking to unify soon. You've got the British title around your waist. Did you think all those years ago that you and Ellie would be in these positions?
Yeah, like not to sound arrogant,
Yeah.
but like I've always looked up to Ellie, and like we've trained together, sparred together, and she's another person that's like crazy mindset, and it's unreal, and just a good person. And yeah, like when we were amateurs and the whole pro thing was coming along, I just thought, yeah, we'll take it by storm, sort of thing. And Ellie's obviously she's animal. She just took it by absolute storm, and she's soon going to be undisputed champion. I can see it coming, and yeah, real force to be reckoned with. And now obviously I'm on my way now as well, and having the British title is fantastic, and I'm really proud of it. And that'll be a stepping stone now for the next bigger fights to come.
Is it a case with Ellie of just getting those fights over the line because she's got the ability, but sometimes it's difficult for people to want to accept those fights against her?
Yeah, that's literally all it is. It's the other people or the management or whoever it is get the fight signed, and that's it. She'll have all the belts, no doubt about that at all. She's got too much.
It's a little bit of a quiet time in women's boxing at the moment, but I've seen one rumor floating around about Sandy Ryan and her next opponent. There's a few names in the mix, those being Michaela Meyer, Natasha Jonas, and Chantel Cameron. Look, they're all fantastic fights, but if you could pick one of them for Sandy, which one do you think you would edge towards?
I think there was a bit of needle between her and Chantel on Twitter, weren't there? So probably that one. So I think it'd be quite an exciting build up. I mean, all four of the women, the fights would be exciting, wouldn't they? There's not a bad fighter amongst them four. But I think purely because of the build up and everything else, I think it'd be a bit needly between her and Chantel. I think it'd be quite interesting to watch.
And another Matchroom versus Queensbury fight as well. We could see that on
Yeah,
a really big stage.
that's what I mean. Maybe they can be the women to debut over in Saudi or something. So we haven't seen no women over there yet. So yeah, or on one of their shows. So maybe we'll see that happen.
I know I've spoke to you a lot about Katie Taylor in the past. She's obviously a big hero of yours, a big influence as well. I believe it's actually her birthday today as we're speaking, 38 years of age. Look, she's achieved so much in the sport, and we're waiting for that Serrano second fight to come. When that does eventually come around, how would you expect that to play out?
Is it going to be 2 minute rounds or 3 minute rounds? Do you know?
I mean, currently, I believe it's going to be 2 minute rounds.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes. I'd favour Katie, but just don't know. I mean, the first fight was a hell of a fight, wasn't it? And Katie got through it. Skin of her teeth. She's done really well there. It was a close fight, but Serrano's come on stronger now. Katie's been more active with the better opponents. Obviously her fights with Chantel and that were fantastic. So it's a hard one to call because it's a very hard one to call. But when I'm sitting on the fence, I'll go with Katie because I'm a diehard Katie Taylor fan. So we'll see as the fight gets closer. But I'll say Katie.
Do you think she would struggle to adapt to 3 minutes round at this point in her career?
Yeah, I do. I do. Honestly, I think she would. I think it would really suit somebody like Serrano, and I think the 2 minutes do really suit Katie. And I think at this stage in her career, being 38, to then have to transition to 3 minutes, I think might play a factor. But she's a professional athlete. She's been doing this for years, so she probably could adapt. In due course. Just I think it would favour someone like Serrano a bit more.
Um, Final bit of business. We saw last week Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua announced for Wembley. Nice to see the big fights coming back to the UK. I know they've sold over 75,000 tickets already for that one, which is no surprise at all. Look, when that rolls around, it's going to be a huge fight, two massive punches. Is it a case, do you think, of who lands the big blow first?
Yeah, I think I have I think Daniel might try and box him a bit because he boxed a bit in his last fight, didn't he? And he looked all right when he was doing his phases of attack because Josh was punching hard at the minute. And I think if he goes in there trying to trade with him, I think Josh would just knock him out in a few rounds, to be truthful with you. So I think maybe I think Daniel might try and box AJ a bit, and see how that goes because he knows he's always got the punch. You know what I mean? So if he maybe tries to box him, if it's not working, he can go resort the other way. But I think you might see a bit maybe of a cautious start from Daniel, maybe a bit of boxing and moving and see how that goes. But I think Joshua will win.
I know, I don't know if you saw the clip of AJ and Daniel Dubois going backwards and forwards a little bit at their sit down. I mean, we don't usually see much of that from Daniel Dubois. What can we sort of read into that, do you think?
I don't know. I think 10% of it will be to sell the fight. And then there's obviously going to be some genuine, probably dislike and ego and that there. Yeah, I don't know. Joshua was a bit more nasty than normal, wasn't he? So and then when someone you're going to be the nicest person in the world, when someone starts giving you attitude, it can send you the other way, can't it? So yeah, maybe he's just feeding off him, and I don't know. It's an interesting one.
Certainly, yes. Well, and we really appreciate the time. Best of luck when the next fight rolls around. I'm sure you'll be back in camp fairly soon, back up to Norfolk, back up to Newark, sorry. And yeah, we'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Nice one. Cheers.